recently I've had the idea of creating a series called Massive Manchester.
All right.
And capturing how big the city is in the eyes of an individual.
Okay.
Because I remember one of the first times I came to the city was a school trip with my primary school. This is donkeys ago. And we went to Mosey. And I remember coming out of Mosey and going onto the main road where the coach was and seeing the Beetham Tower for the first time.
Yeah, you'll have never seen anything as tall as that.
It was massive. Like, obviously,
you were a kid as well. Everything's like, I couldn't see over the counter at the chip shop at this point.
But this is the difference.
That was big.
In London, you expect that. That's what you expect. So when I went to London as a kid, I was like,
big city.
This is normal for where I am right now. It's amazing, but this is normal. But when I came into Manchester and I see this big, massive skyscraper,
big bastard tower, yeah,
just standing there,
because there was nothing else around it. I mean, we've got Deansgate now, Deansgate West, Deansgate North, South, and East.
They hadn't even broken ground on that. This was before they even had planning permission.
Yeah, but because they did plan to build a lot of these skyscrapers much sooner, but there was a big, I don't know if it was like a 6, 10...
It's probably the financial crash.
It was, after that, there was a big, like a 10, 12-year period where just nothing happened, like no progress, got halted. They've obviously built them now, which is fucking sick. But it's really nice because you're able to go out and practice your hobby and give it some practical application. Yeah. There's one that you took recently that I really like, that I want to get printed. And it's not the first one of yours that I've got printed. I've got a picture of that you took on Deansgate, actually, looking over towards Deansgate West. But there's one you took recently. You stumbled across a filming set for Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders are filming in Castlefield, or they were filming in Castlefield whenever you listen to this. And I'd seen the post like a week earlier about it and just completely forgot about it. And it was a nice sunny day. I was like, I'm going to take a walk down to Castlefield because it is a lovely area. And part of it's just completely keyed off. Because obviously the filming for Peaky Blinders, they don't want people looking in.
They had a massive green screen, didn't they, as well?
They had a massive green screen. They had the construction fencing with bin bags, so you couldn't see in and blocking the light, essentially. I walked past one guy. He had his camera on the ground under the fence, looking into the construction site.
Oh, so this wasn't a guy filming.
Into the filming site.
Was he just like an onlooker trying to Yeah.
And you could see one of the security guards inside had stood in front of the camera to block the image with his leg. It's like, why are you trying to capture the filming? Everyone will be under NDAs. No one will be able to talk about it until the episodes are released.
Of course. And when it's released, you're going to get that same shot anyway. So you're not getting a new perspective.
Well, you are. You're getting a perspective as an onlooker.
You're getting someone's leg.
But yeah, as someone who has experienced the industry ever so slightly, it is the worst thing to have people trying to take pictures of your creation while
exactly.
trying to create something unique, something different, something interesting.
But there's something interesting in making a new creation on the back of someone else's creation.
And this is where my photo comes in. I went up to the Deansgate tram stop, and there's a car park connected to it for Manchester Central. And if you go down there, you could see the back end of the production site. You could kind of see all the effects that they were using.
There was a little bit of a fire, there was some sparks, and you can just about see a little bit of the green screen, right?
At one point, yeah.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for this was they were running the smoke machine to create the effects. And the smoke was pouring over one of the viaducts for the mainline trains. And I thought, this looks amazing. This is a great photo because it's not every day you're having smoke pour over the train tracks like this. So I had to take the photo. And it was the golden hour period. So you had the nice yellow sky. You had
nice
this
sunset.
perfect... Yeah. It's a really nice photo. And I've been trying to do like colour correction and everything on it to try and make it pop a bit more. But Marcus has said he prefers it without the colour correction. He likes the nice cold feel you get from the viaducts.
I just think it's a nice contrast between the beautiful warm sky, the viaducts, the sparks and the fire and the effects that they're using. But you know what's really cool about it? It reminds me of... It's like Manchester is really good at this kind of old with the modern. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got the wall of Castlefield. You've got obviously Beetham Tower and the new skyscrapers and all that kind of stuff. But what you captured, right? I don't know if I didn't see the shot of the train, but you've got a modern train traveling across this old brick bridge.
Yeah.
With the smoke in the background from the filming. Now, what the smoke looks like to me, it reminds me of old steam trains of the Victorian era. But then you've got an electric train, and you've obviously got the backdrop, and there's even a church steeple right in the back. Like, it draws your eye in. There's layers, man. There's a story there.
One thing that you could see from, like, just between where the walls split for the viaduct, you could see some of the effects they were using. You could see some fire being blown up.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I was taking a picture, I was trying to capture that fire in the background to give it a nice industrial effect.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned a nice streak in the sky, and we've been struggling to identify it.
So I was watching a video earlier on the space debris that's up there. So you've got all these satellites that are sent up. Sometimes these, decommissioned satellites end up in low Earth orbit, and they do actually get slowed down by thin atmosphere, which eventually brings them back down to Earth, and then you get, they burn up in the atmosphere, right? And it looks beautiful. It's obviously very, very clean, very efficient because the shit's not flying up in space, ripping up the ISS and all that shit. Which is a big problem, by the way. We do need to fix space debris because there's too much shit up there. And
Shout out to SpaceX bringing the boosters back to Earth.
100%, because if you've seen the film Gravity, that catastrophe at the beginning of that film is because of space debris, so we need to fix that. But anyway, JAXA's got a bit of an idea as to how they're going to fix that. They want to take down so much every 5 years. Anyway, like, what you captured on that picture looked like a piece of essentially like space debris that was coming back into orbit.
Yeah.
Sorry, coming back into the atmosphere, not orbit.
It kind of looks like a piece of space debris. And the funny thing
or
is...
like a small comet, maybe,
I looked up if there was a meteor over Manchester recently, and there's an article from 6 days ago, and it's saying people's doorbell cams are capturing something coming into the atmosphere and burning up.
Cool.
I'm like, that's really cool. But I took this picture during the day. Have I captured a meteorite no one's reported, or a piece of whatever it is coming into the atmosphere?
The thing is, you thought it was a plane, but it would have had a bigger contrail behind it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the contrail doesn't match a plane's contrail, because you'd see a really nice streak of white behind where the exhaust would be.
It depends on what kind of plane as well. I mean, you can look at a contrail and you can tell how many engines are there. Is it 2? Is it 4? That was just one stream. Okay, when it gets near the source, it tends to split. If there's a contrail that's happened maybe 10 minutes ago, it'll be like one cloud. But obviously,
but you can tell it's a contrail as well because it lingers.
Yeah, but it looks like it's coming from. Well, if it's coming from a plane, it looks like it's a one-engine plane. But there isn't it? We don't have one-engine planes.
No, we wouldn't have one-engine planes at that altitude. Definitely not.
So interesting, man. I think you might have captured something really cool.
Yeah, it's something I'm going to post this week on the Instagram. But the Instagram. But I'd be interested to know what people think. When you see it, just leave a comment and let me know.
Yeah, let me know let us know what you think.
Like I said earlier, at KP_Sutcliffe.